What in the world? Dude, she should. I'm sorry, she should go to jail for that.
Subject. She drugged me so she could cheat. I have no words. Hey, True. First off, I just want to say thank you for giving men like me a place to speak. I've watched your channel for a while now, and I never thought I'd be writing in. But after everything I've gone through, I feel like I need to get this off my chest. My name is Henry. I'm a 36-year-old man from Kentucky, and this is the story of how my now ex-wife Liz betrayed me in a way I still can't fully process. What she did to me, it's something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Let me get straight to the point. Liz drugged me. Not metaphorically, not emotionally. I mean, she literally put something in my food so she could sneak out and cheat on me behind my back. Yeah, let that sink in. This all happened during the tail end of our 6-year marriage. We'd been together for about 8 years total. Things were rocky for a while, and for about a week leading up to this event, we had been arguing constantly. The topic, a girls' night out she was insisting on having with her friends. I told her flat out no. Call me controlling if you want, but I've always believed that if a woman is out here needing to go party, drink, and hang out with her single friends till all hours of the night, then maybe she needs to be single. I married Liz thinking she was different. A wife, not a party girl, but lately it felt like she was slowly morphing into someone else, someone I didn't sign up for. She pushed back hard. It's just a few drinks. You don't trust me. You're suffocating me. Yeah, sure. I don't trust a married woman trying to hit the town in heels with her single friends every weekend. Sue me. So, after yet another heated argument, I thought we reached a compromise. She made dinner that night, chicken Alfredo with a side of garlic bread, and told me we could talk more calmly after we ate. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Around 6 p.m., I sat down, ate my dinner, and by 6:30, I swear, I could barely keep my eyes open. I remember the sensation vividly. It hit like a truck. One minute I was sitting on the couch flipping through channels, and the next I felt like I had just taken 5 melatonin pills with a bottle of wine. My body was heavy. My eyelids weighed 1,000 pounds. I remember her tucking a blanket over me and kissing my forehead. Just rest, baby, she whispered. Then black. I woke up around midnight. It was one of those slow wake-ups. Disoriented, foggy. My mouth was dry, my head was spinning. I reached for my phone and saw the time. 12:04 a.m. I sat up and realized instantly that Liz wasn't home. I called her, no answer. I texted, no response. That's when something inside me broke. I knew, right then, something wasn't right. And it hit me like a hammer. She drugged me. That thought led to another. What is she hiding? I grabbed her laptop. She'd left it open on the kitchen counter. I remembered her Facebook password from a few months back when she asked me to help reset it. She never changed it. I logged in. Man, I wish I hadn't. She had been messaging a guy named Mitch, some local dude who clearly didn't care that Liz was married because her profile still said married to Henry. They'd been talking for weeks, flirting, sexting, planning nights to sneak away like some high school affair. And wouldn't you know it, that very night they planned to meet up at a bar to play pool. Yeah, right, and they weren't even subtle about it. She wrote, and I quote, "I've got it all handled. He'll be out like a light. I'll see you at Rondos." He replied, "Can't wait. I want to feel those hips against me again." My heart dropped into my stomach. This was the woman I married, the woman I built a life with, and she was out here plotting with some random dude to cheat on me under my nose and using sedatives to get me out of the way. I kept reading. They talked about how boring I was, how I never wanted to have fun, how she missed real excitement. Mitch joked that I probably wore pajamas to bed at 9 p.m. She laughed. I stared at the screen, shaking, heart pounding. Then I saw it. He sent her the address. Rondos Sports Bar. 10 minutes from the house. I called my friend Jake, someone I trust with my life, and told him everything. He showed up in 15 minutes. I was still groggy but fuming. We drove to Rondos. The whole ride there, I was quiet, just staring out the window, replaying everything I read, seeing the messages in my head like they were burned into my brain. When we walked in, I didn't even need to look. I felt her. And there she was, by the pool tables, laughing, sitting on Mitch's lap, his hands on her hips, her hand on his chest. My wife. The woman who kissed me on the forehead while I fell asleep from something she slipped into my food, now grinding on some clown at a bar like a cheap date. I didn't even hesitate. I stormed over, grabbed her by the arm, and yanked her up. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Her face went pale. Mitch stood up and held his hands up like a coward. "Hey man, take it easy," he said, voice shaking. He knew. He knew I wasn't there to talk. I dragged Liz outside. She started screaming at me, calling me crazy, asking what the hell I was doing. "What am I doing?" I yelled. "What the hell are you doing, Liz? Drugging me? Sneaking out? Letting some bum touch you like that?" A couple of guys near the door stepped forward. They thought I was hurting her. I wasn't. I never laid a hand on her besides grabbing her wrist, but it didn't matter. One of them said, "Yo, bro, back off. She said she don't want to go with you." Then Mitch came out with that smug grin. He looked at me and said, "Nah, fellas, it's all good. He's just mad I've been banging his wife. Hey, Henry, nice bed set, by the way." For 1 second, I swear to you, if I had brought my weapon, it could have gone bad, real bad, but I didn't. I took a breath, looked at my friend, and we walked away. Best decision I ever made. The next day, I called a lawyer, told them everything, and the process began. So yeah, after that night at Rondo's, I knew there was no going back, no fixing it, no talking it out. I had my proof. I had my pride, barely hanging on, but I had it. And I had enough energy to do what needed to be done. I got in touch with a divorce attorney the very next morning. His name was Marcus, a no-nonsense guy in his 50s with over 2 decades in family law. He didn't sugarcoat anything, which I appreciated. I showed him the Facebook messages. I told him about the food, the sudden sleepiness, and Liz admitting to Mitch that I'd be out like a light. Marcus shook his head and said, "Son, if we play this smart, she just handed you the keys to the courtroom." I remember sitting in his office while he explained how the process would work. He warned me that it wouldn't be quick. Even with all the dirt I had on her, we still had to go through filings, discovery, hearings, and, God forbid, a trial if she tried to contest anything. But I told him right then and there, I'm not staying married to a woman who drugged me and let some dude defile our bed. I don't care what it costs. I'm done. A week later, Liz got served at work. I asked Marcus to time it that way. I wanted it to sting. I wanted her to be embarrassed. I wanted her to feel something for once. I knew she worked mornings at the front desk of a dental office. The server walked in, called her name, and handed her the envelope right in front of her coworkers and her manager. According to someone I know who works there, she burst into tears and locked herself in the bathroom. Good. She didn't text me for a couple days after that. Then the messages started coming in. First, it was denial. Why are you doing this? We can work this out. I made a mistake. Then guilt tripping. You're really going to throw everything away over one night? You're being dramatic. Then came the bombshell. Okay, I slept with him. Yes, in our bed. I'm sorry. I needed something different for one night. I know what I did was wrong. Yes, I put something in your dinner. Just melatonin and a bit of Benadryl. I panicked. You wouldn't let me go. I just wanted to see my friends. You made me feel like a prisoner. I remember staring at those texts for over an hour, letting them sink in. She really tried to justify what she did as a reaction to my controlling behavior. No, she wasn't reacting. She was planning. She plotted to knock me out like I was some guard she needed to sneak past in a heist movie, and all to hook up with a guy she'd been messaging for weeks, probably longer. Marcus printed out those texts and added them to our evidence folder. He smiled and said, "She just buried herself." From there, the court process began. Depositions, hearings, financial disclosures. It was exhausting, but I pushed through. Liz tried to paint herself as the victim, told the judge I was emotionally abusive, said I controlled her, and cut her off from her friends. But the judge wasn't buying it. He read through the text messages, saw the timestamps, the admissions, the Facebook screenshots, her plan to drug me, her own words about meeting up with Mitch, how she mocked me online, and how she flat out confessed in a text message that she cheated and drugged me just to make it happen. It didn't look good for her at all. My lawyer even had a toxicologist friend testify briefly to explain that melatonin and Benadryl in high doses or combined can absolutely knock a person out within 30 to 60 minutes, especially if mixed with food. The judge's face said it all. Liz didn't get alimony, didn't get the house. She walked away with her clothes, her car, and a shattered reputation. And that's being generous. The divorce was finalized 3 months after I filed. Fastest legal victory of my life. You'd think that'd be the end of it, right? Wrong. Liz didn't just fade away. She came crawling back. First, it was an email, then a call, then a handwritten letter left at my front door. She begged. She pleaded. She claimed she was in therapy, said it was just a phase, said she wasn't thinking clearly, said Mitch meant nothing, and it was really just about feeling ignored. She even offered to get remarried, said she'd sign a prenup, said she'd change. I blocked her. A week later, I caught her sitting in her car down the street from my house, just watching. I ignored her. 2 days after that, she left a gift bag on my porch. Inside was a framed photo of us from our honeymoon and a note that read, "I still believe in us. Please don't give up on what we had." What we had died the moment she put that crap in my food. I called the cops not to press charges, but just to document it. I wanted a paper trail in case she kept showing up. They talked to her. She left. So far, she hasn't come back. I'll be real with you. I went through a dark stretch after all this. I felt stupid, violated, weak. I started questioning everything. Did she ever love me? Was it all fake? Was I just a safe place for her until she got bored? The hardest part wasn't even the betrayal. It was how calculated it all was. She didn't just cheat. She prepared for it, planned it, chose it over and over. And when I caught her, her first instinct wasn't remorse. It was to make me the bad guy. But slowly, I've been rebuilding. I got rid of the bed for starters, threw it in the dump where it belonged, repainted the bedroom, donated all the wedding photos, got a gym membership, started hiking again. I even reconnected with a couple of friends I had lost touch with during my marriage, guys Liz used to say were bad influences just because they didn't worship the ground she walked on. Life is quieter now, lonelier sometimes, but peaceful. And I'll take peace over chaos every time. I don't know what Liz is doing now. I don't care. Maybe she's still chasing guys like Mitch who think making a joke about sleeping in another man's bed is funny. Maybe she's crying into a bottle. Maybe she's finally facing her demons, but I'm free. And that's all I need. Thanks for reading this. If you do decide to share it on your channel, feel free to change my name if needed. I'm not looking for fame. I just needed someone to hear the truth. I needed to speak it. Because for too long I kept silent while someone else tried to make me feel crazy. But I know what I saw. I know what she did. And I survived it. Again, it's Henry. I'm writing you this follow-up email. I see you didn't read my story about Liz, my now ex-wife who drugged my dinner so she could sneak out and cheat with a guy named Mitch. First off, I want to say thank you. The stories you put out every day are amazing. I didn't write it for sympathy, and I surely am not trying to go viral. I just needed to speak my truth. Hopefully you get to it, but you can also add this if you'd like. Anyway, I figured I'd give you an update on how life's been since the divorce finalized. It's been a ride, not an easy one, but a necessary one. After the divorce, I thought I'd immediately feel free. I expected this huge weight to lift, like a man finally getting out of a burning building. But it wasn't like that. Freedom isn't instant. It comes in stages. First, there's shock, then silence, then grief, then, somewhere down the road, healing. I started going to therapy, not because I was falling apart, but because I realized I had spent years with someone who made me question reality, and I needed to start learning how to trust myself again. My therapist, a guy named Joel, asked me one of the toughest questions right out of the gate. When did you stop saying no in your marriage? That one hit hard, because the truth is, long before Liz drugged me and disrespected me, I had already started compromising who I was. I'd say no, and then I'd let her wear me down. I'd try to have boundaries, and she'd guilt trip me until I gave in. And every time I let her cross a line, I taught her that my lines didn't matter. That's on me. I don't blame myself for what she did, but I do take accountability for letting things slide for as long as I did. I ignored red flags because I wanted peace, but peace bought with silence isn't real. It's just the pause before the explosion. Now I'm learning how to protect my peace the right way. I got rid of everything that reminded me of her. That bed, gone. The wedding photos, shredded. Our shared Spotify playlists, deleted. It was all part of reclaiming my space. I repainted the bedroom. New sheets, new mattress, new vibe. I even changed out the dishes because every time I looked at our dinner plates, I remembered what she put in my food. Funny how something as simple as a plate can bring back a trauma flash. I started hiking again, something I gave up when I was married because Liz said nature was boring. I've been hitting the local trails every weekend. It's quiet out there, peaceful, and more importantly, it's mine, my space, my choice. I reconnected with my brother too. He was one of the people Liz didn't like, called him toxic, because he once pulled me aside and said, "Dude, she's not good for you." At the time, I defended her. Now, I called him and said, "You were right. We've been grabbing dinner every other Friday, and I'll tell you, it feels good to laugh again with someone who knows me before all the chaos." But, of course, Liz wasn't done. I thought I'd blocked her on everything. I changed my number, shut down my Facebook, nuked the old email she had, but she found a way. One night I came home from work and found an envelope taped to my front door. Inside was a letter. 4 pages, handwritten. The first line read, "I still don't believe we're over." She went on about how she'd been doing work on herself. Said she'd been reading books on accountability. Said she finally understood what she did to me and that she was so sorry. Said she wasn't seeing Mitch anymore, that he was a mistake born from confusion. Then she dropped this. "I know we might not ever be husband and wife again, but can we at least be in each other's lives? Maybe even friends." I didn't respond. I won't respond, because I have learned something since all of this went down. Closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. It comes when you finally accept that you deserve better than what they gave you. She didn't reach out because she loves me. She reached out because her other options dried up. Her fantasy life fell apart. Mitch probably ghosted her. Reality hit her hard. And now she's doing what manipulators always do when they feel alone. They crawl back to what once worked. But I'm not that man anymore. You only get to burn me once. I left her letter in the sink, poured water on it, and watched the ink smear into nothing. Therapeutic in a weird way, almost symbolic. I also learned that Mitch has a reputation around town. Apparently, Liz wasn't his first married woman. He's known for targeting vulnerable women with issues at home. Probably thought he was slick, but eventually, guys like him run out of new thrills. And women like Liz, who chase excitement over stability, end up alone with a trail of destruction behind them. Here's the crazy part. Even now, months later, I sometimes still catch myself thinking, was I too harsh? Should I have tried harder? But that's trauma talking. That's what happens when you spend years with someone who twists everything into being your fault. You start doubting yourself, even when the truth is staring you in the face. So I remind myself what she did. She drugged me. She let another man into our home, into our bed. She laughed about it. She mocked me online. She confessed not out of remorse, but because she got caught. That's not a partner. That's a predator. I've made a list, on paper, of all the reasons I left. Every time I start feeling weak or nostalgic, I pull it out and read it. It grounds me, keeps me sharp, reminds me that I didn't walk away from love. I walked away from abuse. These days, I'm learning how to be by myself. Not lonely, just solo. There's power in that. I'm not rushing into dating. I'm not swiping on apps. I'm just living, breathing, healing. Do I hope to meet someone eventually? Sure, but I'm in no rush because I know now what I didn't know before. You can't build something real with someone who wears a mask. And more importantly, you have to take care of your own wounds before inviting someone else into your heart. Thanks for reading this. I know it's long, but you're one of the few people I feel like I can talk to without being judged or dismissed. If you share this on your channel, go ahead. Maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe some guy sitting in a dark room staring at a betrayal he never saw coming needs to know he's not crazy. He's not weak. He's just waking up, and freedom starts there.
I'm glad you divorced her, man. She wanted to go see Mitch that bad. That bad. I need this D so bad that I'm going to put you to sleep. I wonder how many times she's actually done that before, right? This is probably her thing. She's been doing this for a while, dude. You remember any other times you got super sleepy after eating her dinner? Oh my gosh. Salute to you, man. I'm glad you're doing good. Thanks for the follow-up email. Salute to you, man. Guys, lesson learned. You be the cook. Don't let her cook. Don't let her cook your food, man. Oh my gosh. Guys, if you want to make a comment on this story, you want to reply to this story, jump to the comments. If you'd like to send in a story yourself, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That is truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.